How's it going? In light of recent events, I thought it was appropriate to let you guys know that building high-powered homemade crossbows in your garage is actually not as safe as it sounds. This here is a brand new squeaky clean trigger mechanism that I had to design from the ground up because the design that I got off the internet failed and dang near ripped off one of my favorite fingers. My finger didn't even get in the way of the string. I was cocking it with a rope cocker. The trigger mechanism failed and it ripped this handle out of my hand so fast and so hard. My finger blew up. Thank God I don't wear a ring on that finger. I'd have a Jack Skellington finger right now. All this to say, build stuff. Please do. Do it. Build dangerous stuff too. Just be careful when you do it, okay? This is gonna be the first time that I put the full draw weight of this crossbow onto my brand new trigger mechanism. What could go wrong? Here you go. Hope you guys like it. Cool. So I'm actually kind of struggling with what to even make this video about, which to me is a really good sign that I should keep this thing pretty short. I feel like the best videos on my channel are the ones where I'm like super excited and super passionate about whatever thing that I'm working on. And then the video is almost like just totally secondary. It's a vehicle for me to deliver this super awesome idea that I have in my head. Then conversely, I feel like the worst videos I have here on my channel are the ones like this, where I'm almost just trying to justify having your attention for 10 minutes. I don't have any interest in that being my legacy. I want to make videos that I'm really proud of. So if and only if you're interested, just allow me to zoom right through what I've been up to for the last couple of months. If you're not interested, there will be plenty of great videos coming soon. This is just not one of them. So if you remember the cliffhanger I left you off on last time, really the only issue I had to overcome with the crossbow was the size and the weight of it. I couldn't comfortably use it without having it resting on something. And it was only after I had been test firing it a lot that the trigger mechanism became an issue too. It failed multiple times, and it was only the final time that it failed that I really kind of bit the bullet and accepted this thing is not safe for human use. So those are my issues: the weight, the size, and the reliability of the trigger mechanism. Now, a shocking number, you guys. I had no clue I had so many crossbow prod aficionados in my subscriber base were telling me that the problem with the fiberglass prods that I made was that I used fiberglass mat instead of straight grain fiberglass. The mat, of course, being like a woven fabric, and apparently the way that you're supposed to make crossbow prods is just with straight grain fiberglass, so that your finished prod is almost like a piece of wood, but with fiberglass instead of wood grain. What you guys kept on saying, and I'm not mad, what you guys kept on saying was it would make it stronger if I did that. And I kept asking, when you say stronger, do you mean it'll be less prone to breaking, or that it will have higher draw weight, it'll have more power? Never got an answer. So I'm like, okay, I'll just do an experiment. I'll just do it myself. How long could this take? Well, it was like 2 weeks later. I had finally mastered the art of plucking apart the individual fibers of the fiberglass blanket. I built this whole entire, let me get it. I built this whole entire mold for making these straight grain fiberglass prods. I finally got the prod fully made, and full disclosure, I messed this part up. I really did. I didn't have enough clamping power between the two halves of the mold, and it ended up that there were just a whole bunch of bubbles inside of the prod. It was totally riddled with them. But even with the extra thickness of not clamping the prod down as hard as I could have, I can still flex the prods with my hand. I don't think it did anything to make them more powerful. I think you guys probably were talking about it would be less prone to breaking. I didn't have a problem with the prods breaking before, so thank you guys for helping. I didn't need help with that, so gotta find the real solution, okay? Alrighty, I'd say it's about time we take a little break from fiberglass. We're gonna execute my backup plan, which now that I think about it, probably should have been our first move, because this will probably be a lot easier than all the fiberglassing stuff. Let's get these limbs out real quick. Every single viable means of increasing the power through these composite materials just had some kind of downfall, or the building process of the prod was just like way above my pay grade. I just kept coming back to steel for the prod. The steel is so powerful, the draw weight is so high. And with this crossbow crossbow being based on mechanical advantage and essentially having a block and pulley on every single limb, each individual limb moves so little. It's like 1 inch from uncock to cock. So when it comes to the snapping speed of the prod, the weight of them wasn't really an issue because the prods barely move at all. The only issue with the weight of the steel was literally handling the crossbow. The prods were very heavy to lift up. So that's when I got an idea that actually ended up being a good idea. I thought if I could actually thin the prods out, that would reduce a lot of weight. And it would. The problem then is that it would have less draw weight, right? That was when I got the idea to actually shorten the limbs too, in addition to thinning them. The thinning the limb makes the limbs lighter, but reduces the draw weight. Shortening the limbs reduces the lever arm and spikes your draw weight way back up. Thought that was a pretty good idea. So I did that. It really did reduce the weight, a pretty good amount, but it reduced the draw length too, which, bruh. Crossbow not that good if you can't draw back. Also this, even though the limbs barely move, the way that the wooden stock was built started the limbs really pretty close to each other. So the pulleys were getting kind of uncomfortably close to each other. And when they get way too close to each other, the strings start slipping off. So very unfortunate situation, but it's moments like this that make it man. I'm like, do I just call it an L? Or do I re-sculpt the whole entire stock to have a greater distance between the limbs, but then also to be about 5 inches shorter overall so that the string could actually reach the trigger mechanism? I'll let you guess what I decided to do there. So finally, after reprofiling the prods, which is a lot of work, not gonna lie, profiling hardened, tempered steel, not a walk in the park, and completely rebuilding the stock, I finally had what I thought was gonna be my completed, most perfect, most awesome crossbow of all time, which is immediately when the trigger mechanism failed and gave me a owie on my fingy. Now, at that time, I was not in a mental place to redesign any crossbow trigger mechanism from the ground up. I was wanting to redesign my bone structure from the ground up and jump off a bridge. Luckily, literally the day after that, my most favorite build of all time was completed. It was a collab that I've been working on with my wife for about 9 months. Sorry, no build tutorial. My wonderful, epic baby boy was born, and I just kind of felt like God was letting me know, hey, take a break, take a breather. So I took about a month just to, you know, be as helpful to my wife as I possibly could, spend some quality time with the noob, and it's been a great time, thanks for asking. But finally, back to work. Since the stock was made to fit that old trigger mechanism, I had to build a new trigger mechanism with that same shape of the outer plate. Not a big deal, just a little bit of an extra challenge. Here it is locked. Here it is fired. It's much more stable than the old one. Problem is the trigger pull is extremely heavy, but thank God for my wife. She's made me promise I'm not gonna do crossbow videos for a while because she sees how kind of bored with them I am at this point, and she knows how long it takes me to make videos when I'm like not interested in what I'm doing. So she's like, look, go ahead and finish this one up, but I really need you to work on stuff that you're actually interested in, okay? As you can see, the trigger mechanism fires just fine. Now, I won't lie, I do have a pretty good idea for a new trigger mechanism, but I'm not gonna do it right now, okay? Don't worry, babe, if you're watching this. But I'm just very excited to do some other stuff. Maybe some dad-themed builds. I've been wanting to build a new grill for a while. That'd be pretty cool. As well as, hey, maybe some baby armor, saw blade rattle axe, that'd be pretty cool. Curb stomper booties. The possibilities are endless. I know this is not a great video, and somehow I've managed to be talking for like 38 minutes at this point. Hopefully when I chop this down, it'll be less than 10 minutes. I don't like the feeling of kind of like wasting you guys' time. This is almost like a vlog, huh? I'm kind of just like updating you guys. Maybe I'll feel better about myself if I tell you that. There you guys go. Hopefully you didn't see this as a total waste of time. I promise better videos coming in the near future. Thank you guys really, really, really so much for your patience. And thank you all very much for watching. I'll talk to you later. Bye.